Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So we'd like to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your love and support. In this video we are going to be attaching a cap chain to the off part of a dress. Okay, so you can do it on any part of a dress of your choice, and the cap chains come in different sizes and shapes, so you can make use of any size, any type you prefer. Okay, all right, so let's start. So I'll be attaching the cap chain around the shoulder of this dress. Okay, so I'm going to be using the flat cap chain. I'm going to be using this flat cap chain, and I also use a fishing thread. This type of fishing thread is very thin, almost the size of a thread, and so when you get to the market you just ask of the 0.25 and you get this type. We have different types as well, and I'll use my needle and then a thread cutter. So I'll go ahead and thread the needle, and from there we'll start. So we'll be starting from one point of the back to the other side. Okay, and I'll use the cap chain just like the way it is, and then after fixing it I'll just snip through. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to make a knot at the back, and then afterwards I'm just going to put the cap chain on it, and then I'll pull the thread through the cap chain outside. So we are going to be working on only the first layer of the cap chain. That's the very first layer. So you'll be working on the intervals, like as in you'll be passing the needle through the intervals of the first layer. So at least you should enforce it. You should go in and out 3 times. That's all you are going to be doing. You pass it through the first interval, and then in, out, enforce, in, out, and then the next point you just pass it through the main piece and then the lining. Okay, so the needle is going to pass through the main dress, the main fabric, and then the lining to the next point. So when you are done with one interval, you just move to the next interval. So I was just doing that. So when you move to the next interval through the lining and the main fabric, you get to the next interval, you pass it in, out, in, out. You make sure you enforce as well. So that's all that you are going to do till you are done. When you pass the needle through the dress, the thread is not going to show outside. Okay, so you always make sure you enforce, and then as you go ahead you move the cap chain. And if you are using the single one that are wrapped around, it means you are going to be using it singly. I don't know if that makes sense, as in one by one. So when you fix one, you remove one, or you cut one and then you place it at another point. That's why I feel this is more easier than that one. Okay, so I started snipping through as I go ahead. So I stopped after the first two layers, the very first two layers, I stopped dead. So that is where I want to stop. And I also realized that moving, as in enforcing each and every interval, will waste my time. So I started leaving about 2 or 3 intervals. That means if you enforce or you pass the needle through one interval, you leave 1, 2 or 3 cap chain, the round shiny thing, you leave about 2 or 3 and move to the next interval to enforce it. So what you are doing is attaching on or enforcing the cap chain onto the dress so it doesn't remove. You can as well use a glue. You can as well use a glue if it's not something that you want to keep for long. But if you want to keep it for long, I would advise you use a needle and then a fishing thread. So right now I'm just showing you how you are supposed to snip through. Okay, so I stop at the second layer. So you can as well leave it like that after snipping, or you can as well remove the vertical intervals from each point, make it a little bit less closer to each other. So you can also just use one layer, that's leaving only the first layer. So this is 2 layers, so you can also use 1 layer. It all depends on you, okay? But the very important thing is you are stopping at the first layer. Okay, that's the basic thing. You can leave 2, 3 layers. That is why it is good to make the enforcement at the very first layer. So no matter how you play around with your cap chain, the cap chain is stick to the dress. And if your thread gets finished, you just have to enforce few more, just like 2 or 3, and then you pull it to the wrong side and pick another thread. So you still have to enforce at the wrong side, and then after enforcing, wherever you stop from, you have to start from where you stopped. Okay, so you start from where you stop. So you have to enforce just 1 more from where you stop, and then you move on, leaving 2, 3 intervals, and then you move on. So if you want a longer cap chain, this one is 4 inches. If you want longer than that, what you have to do is to turn the cap chain vertically. Okay, it's already horizontal, so you cut it vertically. So you measure how long you want the cap chain to be, and then you cut it out just to get the length you want. So after fixing or attaching the one you've cut, all you have to do is to cut another one with the same length, and then you fix. So as you move ahead, you fix new ones with the same length. We are almost done. So when you get to the very last point, you make sure you enforce. All you need to do is make sure you enforce the beginning very well, and then the end too, you enforce it very well. So if the beginning and the end are enforced well, the cap chains will be held together because they are connected with the fishing thread. So when you're done enforcing, you pass it through, you pass it to the wrong side, and then you enforce at the wrong side and cut your fishing thread out. So wherever you stop, you have to make sure you cut through the cap chain just like that. So wherever you stop, you cut it with your scissors to the end, and then you go ahead and cut through the rest of the cap chain. You have to also make sure that however you started, you end as such. So if you stop cutting or snipping through on the second layer, then you should stop on the second layer throughout. If you want to stop on the third layer, you stop on the third layer throughout. Okay, so this is the outcome afterwards. This is how it looks at the back as well. This is my first time and I really love the outcome. So just imagine the cap chain was fixed on a black dress. It will look nice and very shiny. This is how it looks without light on, and I think it will be best on a dinner dress for real. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, give it a thumbs up. Click on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Turn on the post notification bell so anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first to be notified. See you in any of my videos. Bye.